In the meantime, please ensure to select English or Spanish as the language of your choice. Mientras tanto, por favor, escojan inglés o español como el idioma en que desea escuchar esta presentación en el icono del globo. Thank you for being here. Okay. So we are going to get started, okay, with this presentation. It is the last Tech Talks of the school year 21-22. So we are thankful that you are here with us. Nos emociona que estén aquí con nosotros. Esta es la última Tech Talk, ¿verdad? De este año escolar. Así que ya saben, en el icono del globo, ¿verdad? Escoger español. So make sure you choose Spanish or English. So this is what how we're gonna continue. You know that we have interpretation services. Today, it's important that you select either English or Spanish, okay? Because we will have some sections that might be bilingual, and we will want you to be able to listen to that section in the language of your choice. Así que este día tenemos presentación bilingüe, inglés-español, y queremos que por favor escojan inglés o español, ¿verdad? Para que puedan escuchar la presentación completa, ¿ok? So it is also our pleasure that you are here participating with us in this webinar. So we would want you to please, right, share your experiences, make your comments in the chats, in the Q&A. We will be looking at that information or the comments you make so that we can then share with others. So thank you so much then, and we will get started. Remember, participation is important and we would want to hear from you, okay? So today we're going to discuss the important transitions for new high school students. That is the topic of this conversation today. It was more of a conversation, right? Many of our 8th graders now left middle school and are on their way to high school. They're making that transition. And we're going to just talk about some of the things that parents should be aware of as your child, right, makes this important transition. And we're going to discuss some of the supports that families can use, right, to support their child. So at this time, I'm going to cede the floor to my colleague, Elizabeth Lomero.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We're so happy that you joined us today. For our inclusion activity, we'd like for you to think about what your child that's going to start high school might be concerned about, or what might excite him or her about this transition. So your child is going from middle school to high school. What do you think might be his or her concern, or what might she or he be most excited about? Go ahead and share that with us in the chat, and we'll look at your responses. Great, I see anxious about a new environment. It's absolutely reasonable. Being scared, being nervous, not wearing a uniform anymore. That's right, you're comfortable wearing the uniform every day, right? You're protected, and now you're gonna have all these choices as a high schooler, and you'll be able to choose your wardrobe. I see ansioso de conocer sus nuevos compañeros. So anxious to meet new classmates. Fear and nervousness I see in the chat. I see nervous. Being in a school that's larger. I could understand why the students might be feeling this way, right? Thank you for sharing, everyone. And we hope that today's session will help in you supporting your child in his or her transition. So not wearing a uniform might cause some conflict because not everybody, right, is at the same economic level. And we might fear that there might be some making fun of or, a teasing over the clothing. And now the courses are going to be more difficult, right? Subjects. As you go, right, the material does increase in difficulty. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. We appreciate your responses.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth, for that, for guiding us in this inclusion activity. And all of your many concerns are valid. We want to indicate that it is a valid, right? Going from a smaller to a larger place, maybe not wearing the uniform. I think it's one of those concerns. Meeting new friends or classmates. Overall, yes, it is a time for concern and also excitement. So we hope, as my colleague said, that this presentation might allay some of those fears or concerns, and give us some at least information as to how to support our children in this transition. So just to have a little fun, right? This is a non-scientific view of a teenager's brain, but this is what it is, right? We have our students and they are teenagers. And what do we think about teenagers, right? We think that maybe, yes, this is a time for rebellion. They are more preoccupied with love and fitting in and the social aspects of life. We know that they have little memory, right, for the chores and the homework that they should do. That is secondary or maybe at last, right, in their preoccupations of the day. We know that they lack those communication skills, right? Your child that talked to you and communicated with you openly all the time. Now it's a little bit more reserved, right? So we have experienced that with our children, with our young ones. But this is a non-scientific one, just for us to think about what do we think about our children, right? And what we see or we know, right? But what we do know, and it is very important to know, right? And this is the scientific aspect of this topic right now, is that adolescents' brains are about 80% of the way to maturity. And that is great news, right? 80% mature. So that's great. But that 20%, right? That 20% that they are still not having matured, that can create a little bit of concern for us, right? For parents and families, right? So in that for 20%, there's still that fifth final percent that is the development of the prefrontal cortex. And this is a very important location of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, right? Because that is the location of the brain that, again, it hasn't matured completely, but that is involved in planning, organizing, impulse suppression, and weighing consequences, right? So it's not totally mature. And we know that this is some of the things that they have to do well in high school and, and in life, so that they can make it through high school and into college, right? So again, not mature yet. It gives us a little bit of problems of concern. So we have to know that this is where our kids, our adolescents need support, right? So for that, we are going to just continue having this conversation as to what can we do, right? So we know that a smooth transition to ninth grade contributes to students' success in high school and beyond. So again, ninth grade, this specific transition, very important, right? It'll determine for many of our students whether they are successful, not just in high school, but beyond high school. So a very important time. And we know that although moving from middle school to high school can be very exciting, yes, right? We know they're excited, new friends, new location, right? An opportunity for a new beginning for many, right? This transition, as we have said, and you have stated, parents and families, right? This transition is filled with great anxiety and stress for many of them. So we understand. excitement on the one hand, right? But on the other hand, a little bit of anxiety and stress. But we know that it is important that they have a smooth transition. They make a smooth transition so that they can be successful, not just for those 4 years in high school, but to prepare, get ready for life beyond, right? So just a little bit of information because of the language you will hear, the terms you will hear, and that is that we know that there are four, right? Four grades in high school, the ninth, the 10th, the 11th, and 12th. And sometimes we're not familiarized with maybe the language, and we know for those of us, right, that are new to the country maybe, and we don't know the terms. So we know that a student who is in the ninth grade, you will hear the word freshman, right? The term freshman, and that will just mean that they are ninth graders. And then they'll go to the 10th grade, and now they're sophomores, 11th grade juniors, and 12th grade seniors. I remember when I first heard these terms, and I'm like, I was in high school actually, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't understand, right? Oh, they're referring to me, who I am in the 10th grade. I am a sophomore. I didn't know that, right? As a newcomer to the country. So just to clarify these terms for our families, some of our families. So again, freshmen, that exciting and also anxious time, right, for our students. And many of them, unfortunately, do get off track, right? And we want to know why. What is it? What happens? Why do they get off track and not on track? And you have heard that term, being on track, being off track for graduation. We want to keep them on track for graduation, but the factors, right, that might derail a student could be the social and developmental adjustments that they have to make, the structural and organizational changes that happen at that time, and the increased academic rigor and failure that could take place during this very important time that is the freshman year for our students. So we know that that happens, right? And we want to be aware and ready to support. So the social adjustment is a very important element, right? That might contribute to students maybe not having a great experience in high school. So we know that this, at the beginning, right, these challenges include physical, emotional, and cognitive changes, as well as an increased desire for independence from parents. And you know that parents, right? That your child who was very obedient and didn't question any of your, requests is now, maybe seeming a little bit more rebellious at times or questioning a little bit more, but that it's okay. It is a process of maturation, and they're on their way to being independent students, independent people, young people, right? So we know that that happens at this time. That this student social life and peer relationships, and you know this, often surpass academic concerns. Yes, they're going to school. It is supposed to be academics and learning, but there is a social life at the high school, right? And that sometimes is a lot more important for some. And that could, right? They have to make that adjustment to have that balance between their social life and their academic life, right? So we want to make sure that one doesn't overtake, the social life and peer relationships do not overtake, right? Surpass their concerns, because we want to keep them on track for success in high school. So during this time of transition, students may develop lower self-esteem and fears about new social circumstances, right? Often resulting in anxiety and negative behaviors. And I'm so happy and honored right now to introduce Señora Marcela Garcia, who will give us a little bit of more information about her experience with her child who has make that transition recently into high school. Señora Marcela, would you give us some, expand on this information, please? Your mic?
Aquí. Buenas tardes a todos.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcela Garcia. When my daughter went from middle school to high school, I was concerned because I thought that if she could apply to play sports, because when she was going to go into high school, she was very, very nervous because she would say, I need to have good grades in order to play a sport. And And I told her it was not impossible for her. We are going to speak to the teachers and what you can do in order to play a sport. So I spoke to the teachers we met, and they motivated her quite a bit to be able to play a sport. Her self-esteem increased, but not only hers, but also her friends. And she would tell them, come, try, you can play a sport as well. She motivated her friends, and I would tell her, when you are in ninth grade, in order to be more confident in high school, you can participate in the SSC, the School Site Council. And I explained what it was. And she said, do you think I can? And I said, yes. The coordinator explained it to her, and she became a member. And I gave her the confidence that I would be with her in every meeting, and this motivated her quite a bit. And she liked it a lot. She was personally motivated, and I'm very happy with her. Sometimes children are afraid because it's a big school, and there's children who are very tall, and there's a lot of kids. And when they say 1,000 kids, 1,000 students, oh, my little girl. But they learn and they start making friends. Yes, sometimes their self-esteem gets lowered because my friend didn't come from my other school to this school, but we're there to tell them that they can find new friends, to speak to them, be friendly. You can make new friends. And my daughter, I participated quite a bit in her motivation. She trusts me, and I trust my daughter as well. I want her to feel trust in her school.
Thank you, Señora Marcela, for that information, for giving us more, sharing your experience with your child as she transitioned to high school, and definitely communication with your child, instilling that sense of self-esteem that they can do it, right? That they can set their sights on things that they want to do, and that they can be successful. That helps a lot. So parents, you have a lot of power, right, in supporting your child and making this transition smooth. So just so that, in addition, right, what do the schools know? Schools know that this is a difficult time for our ninth graders. So the schools themselves, right, provide certain supports. So we know that many of our schools have summer bridge programs during the summer, right? So that the students come to the summer bridge programs, and then they can acquaint the child, the student, with the school, with the teachers, giving them information, letting them know what to expect at that school, right? So that then they can have a better time in ninth grade. They can make that transition a little bit better. So, and also high schools, right, have specific ninth grade academies to better support ninth graders who are there the first year, right? So we know that they identify in ninth grade academies, identify their support network. They get to know who the adults around them are that can be of support. It is very important, right? That relationship that a child may establish with an adult, it is important that they know who to go to for support. And this is the job that ninth grade academies do for those ninth graders, so that they, again, are more successful at that first year. So they offer counseling for students who are having trouble making friends, right, at the beginning in that ninth grade. And as Senora Marcela said, right, this is a preoccupation for many of them, getting to know new students, new peers, their friends, and from middle school maybe are not with them anymore, right? Now there's new people. They might have their friends at the high school, but they might not coincide in their classes anymore. So this is an important aspect to be aware of, right, for our students. And of course, in ninth grade, they get to work in cooperative groups together with their partners. That way they make new friends. So they establish those relationships together in the ninth grade academies. And also they may join clubs, music options, team sports, all of this supporting the social development and adjustment for our ninth graders in our high school. So these are some of the things. Other schools may have other programs, other supports, other services, right? It is important to know your school and to learn what they have for your child. So in addition to the social adjustments that kids must make, there are also that structural and organizational changes. So we know that middle school and high school are very similar, right? Very similar in what they do, right? In how they are organized. Very similar. They have multiple teachers, they have various tracks, they have many different classes. We know that that is similar in middle school, but as we heard, high schools are much larger, right? And more competitive and maybe less personal. This is something that we know of comprehensive high schools, but at least in LAUSD, as I know, right? In our high schools, again, we have those ninth grade academies. And then as they move on, they can also, or if not a ninth grade academy, schools may have what they call small learning communities. So they have partner schools, teachers working together with specific students, right? And that way, teachers get to know the students, students get to know the teachers, and they follow those teachers throughout their years at the high school. That way, they're personalizing and building those relationships, right? Especially if they are attending a high school that might be a very large high school. So those small learning communities is one way how schools support children, right? So that they don't feel alone or lost, or that they don't have anybody to talk to or that knows them, right? This is very important. And of course, extracurricular offerings, if they join clubs, the team sports, that also creates a sense of community for our students. And all that, all those elements are very important for our students' success, right? So again, although this is it could be true, right? We know that we are supporting our children, right? Creating those small spaces so that they can get to know the teachers and their classmates, right? Just as they probably did in a smaller setting in a middle school, right? And we also have smaller schools, right? Smaller schools, standalone smaller schools, maybe with 300 students, right? And we know that that is a great concept that works and supports our children. So another academic transition is the new concepts, the new ideas, the new terms that maybe students were familiar with in middle school, but now, yeah, they are more important, right? Now they have to know about graduation requirements, and it is important that they know it right from the beginning. So parents, you should know that too, right? What are the graduation requirements? And it is important, again, to know them from ninth grade on. You don't want it to be too late once they get to 11th or 12th grade and not know what those requirements are. Now the GPA, and this is a concept that they learned in middle school, the grade point average, right? They might know about it, but now it is even more important, right? To keep track of their GPA, the grades that they are getting and the letter grades and how they add up as to a grade point average. Students have an individual graduation plan that they have with their counselor and you parent, right? So this is another concept to be aware of, the individualized graduation plan that parents, student, and counselor develop together. Credits, yes, they knew about credits in middle school, but now credits are important, right? Because we know that they have to have a certain number of credits in order to be able to graduate. So all of these elements that they might have heard about in middle school, but now they gain more, they're more important, right? They're gaining importance because it'll determine not just from year to year whether they continue to the next level, but whether they graduate too. A through G requirements, we have talked about this too. They should know what those are. You should know what they are, parents. The AP and honors courses, they might be familiar with that, but what exactly they are, right? How do they count in their GPA, all of these elements, right? Your counselors, right? That's the important, the person that you should know, parents at the high school. The high school counselors can support you with all this information, teachers too, obviously, the small learning communities, the ninth grade academies, all of them will support your child with this information. But you should also know these parents, right? Because again, these are the concepts that students should know and be able to be aware of and work with throughout their high school years. And the other elements we know about the academic transition, keeping up with materials, classes might be a little bit more rigorous, right? So now they have to keep up with the materials. They should be able to manage their time, their study habits should be improved or continue. If they were great in middle school, what worked in middle school may work in high school too, right? Especially if that made them successful. Having good grades, again, very important. Completing homework assignments. All of these elements are, think about all of this that your child has to manage. It is a lot, right? It could be a lot for a child to manage, an adolescent. And this is where you come in, parents. This is where we come in as the school staff, right? To support your child. So, but in addition to our students, right, ninth graders that are in a general education courses, we have some of our students who are transitioning to high school and that they participate in the special education program, or we say that they have IEPs. So of course, we have to be very aware of the importance of supporting our students with IEPs. So as a parent, right, talk to your child about high school, right? Explain how it is different, yes, than middle school, and review, again, successful middle school strategies that can still be used in high school. Very important. What worked for you in middle school? Keep up those strategies, those skills, right? So that you can be successful in high school. So talk to your child about that. Know the services available at the school, parent, right? Please meet with the special education administrator, the teachers, so that you can discuss your child's IEP goals and accommodations. So, okay, it is important that they know that you work together as a team to support your child in this bigger space, right? Visit the campus, very important. If you can, visit the school right before the year begins. Allow your child to become familiar with the surroundings, right? The school surroundings, very important. And the schedule too, right? Their new schedule. Establish communication with teachers, important, right? Communication is essential. Continue corresponding with teachers throughout the year, not a just one-time deal, right? I met you once and that's that. No, continue communicating, corresponding with teachers. You can email them. Email is easy, especially if you have a parent portal account, right? You're able to correspond through email with teachers and schedule periodic meetings so that you can stay updated on their progress. So again, these are the strategies, the actions that you took in middle school to support your child may continue to work in high school, right? And you should be there, parents, to support them along with the school staff. Right here working together as a team. Señora Marcela has an experience that she wants to share with us about her experience. So, Señora Marcela.
Sí, yo les decía que cuando mi hija, ella está
When my daughter knows that she has an IEP and she said, oh, my grades aren't good enough in order to play a sport. And I said she could. I motivated her quite a bit. Having an IEP means you just learn differently. Children with IEPs are very smart. So I always motivate her. I tell her, you can, you're very smart, and I'm here with you. I'm going to help you. And I'm always behind her. And sometimes she tells me, I want to not have an IEP. And I tell her, no, because you need it for now. You need the services. And I'm always behind her and the teachers when the grades, she tells me, Mom, the grades, I put in all of the effort. And that's where I come in as a parent. And I speak to the teachers and I ask them, what was it that she didn't do well? Or what did she do wrong? She put in the effort, and then they explain sometimes they're was a teacher that covered me, and that person can't grade the child. So you always have to be there. When children have IEPs, they get frustrated because they think that they're not going to be able to, that they're always doing something wrong. So I motivate my daughter. She's very motivated now. She understands that having an IEP doesn't mean that you're a different type of child. You learn in a different way, but you are not lacking anything. They're very intelligent. They excel. Thank God. I see the messages in the chat that some schools don't have sports. If you unite as parent volunteers, look for funds, and they're saying as a district should provide the funds for sports programs at the schools. We are parents, we have a voice. Go to the district and ask, because the children do get motivated doing sports. And I tell you through my own personal experience, because when my daughter started playing sports and when they would win, she does track and she comes home very tired, but very satisfied that she was able to do it. So look for this for your children. All of the children in high school, it's very nice for our children to participate. They get motivated and physically, but more so in their studies, in academic success for them. I would want to say so many things of how I've motivated my daughter. I am very happy because at the beginning, her self-esteem was very low and she thought that she wasn't going to be able to do anything, but I've always been with her. And I'm telling you this through my personal experience, parents. If they don't have funds, look, speak to the district. And I've participated in selling things at the schools, such as sodas. When the kids are playing, other schools get there and we raise funds, and the children get motivated by seeing their parents. Thank you.
Thank you, Señora Marcela. So parents, you're hearing from one of your peers, Señora Marcela, and her experience, and it's very touching to me, right, to see that the level of interest that she has placed in supporting her child, right, being there along the way, encouraging her, ensuring that she knows that she can do the things she wants to do. And of course, it is important to know this is having an IP only means that there is just certain goals and accommodations that the child might need. But of course, they can do as much as they can, and we are there to support them. You are there to support them. And when students know, right, when our kids know that we are there for them, they will succeed. So thank you so much, Senora Marcela, for that, for sharing your experience and your story. So, but on the other hand, right, we do know that it is a reality that if our students are not doing well academically, if they decline in their academic achievement and they see continued failure, maybe, right, then they will drop out. And this is a reality for many of our students, right, who drop out. And that happens many times in the ninth grade when that transition did not go too well. So we want to avoid that reality for many, right? When so many of our students, not so many, when some of our students might consider dropping out. And we know that that might happen because they are inadequately prepared for high school. That increased academic rigor of high school might be a little bit too much for them. And there just might be a lack of interest and relativity. They don't see the point, right? And hopefully we can support our children so that we do not have any of them drop out. But ninth grade is a very important grade because that's the grade that where if this is happening, right, failure and there's no excitement, then that could be a reality. We want to avoid that. We want to ensure that they don't, right, that they have a successful transition year, ninth grade. And we do know, right, that the single most predictive indicator of high school dropout is the student's academic standing during ninth grade. So again, if they don't see success in ninth grade, they might consider just not continuing. We don't want this to be a reality for any of our students. And that's why we say we are here for you. We've got you covered, right? We want to ensure that our students get the support they need, not just from the staff, but also from the parents, obviously, right? You are there with them along the way because we want them to see them graduate. In 4 years, they will have their diploma and graduate. That is the goal, right? That is the goal. So parents, it is important, right, that you empower yourself. It is important as research suggests, right, that in addition to school contact with parents, right, resulted in improved overall communication between families and schools. So when you are there communicating with the school, reaching out, talking to the teachers, emailing them, right? Emails are easy now, right? Well, somewhat easy. So it is important then that you continue that communication, that collaboration, that capacity building so that you can support your child, okay? So it is you are an integral part in guiding your child through this transition. So again, parents, you are it, right? You are, and I'm saying this because as a high school teacher, right, we didn't get to see too many parents. We parents are thinking, well, they want to be independent. Let them, we want them to be independent, yes, but they're still children. Remember that. There was a slide that I didn't include here, but that had a little teddy bear. And remember, how far removed are they from having their playing with their toys? Well, not too far, right? Maybe 5 years ago, they were playing with toys, and now we want them to be these mature young people. Yes, but that's what we want, to have that process, right? But let's remember, they're still children, right? And they still need us. So don't forget that, parents, right? So you are integral in guiding them through this process. And of course, when a parent positively intervenes in their child's activities, be it schoolwork, about talking about the peers, their friends, and how they participate in school, this will have a very important effect in their transition, okay? So we want parents for you to empower yourselves so that you can then support your children. Señora Marcela, might you have an additional comment or to share with us at this point? I believe you spoke about it briefly in terms of the SSC participation of your child. Might you want to expand on it?
Sí, cuando mi hija me hacía la pregunta, ¿y qué
When
de
my daughter asked me what it was about, because she didn't understand what the coordinator had explained, I told her it's where the funds, the general funds come in, and you as a member or whatever position you might have, you can vote yes for the money to be used for programs for the teachers, or to have new and when or sending teachers to trainings. And I explained what the SSC was about, and she said, so there are funds at the school? And I said, yes, there are funds. So why are they saying that there's no funds? And that's why I told her, you need to go see where the funds are. And so she said, I'm going to see what it's about. And when she saw that this was something serious where she had to vote, and when she understood what SSC was about, and she started understanding things, we come to school and think everything is easy, and that everything is easy for the principal. Oh, because the principal this or that. But I see now that everything that she does is because she is limited because of the funds that are available. And I told her, it's good that you see this. It's good for you to be a member of the SSC, and it's an experience for you. It builds your confidence and say, in my school, we can change. My school, we can direct these funds for the best thing for us, for and my friends or peers. And this motivated her because when on the screen the names of the names of SSE members would show, this would motivate her, even though we didn't know anything, but I would motivate her. And those parents that are here and listening, motivate your children to be involved, to become part of the SSE. It's such a beautiful experience because children feel fulfilled. It's the first grade of high school, ninth grade. And it's very fulfilling as a parent. Thank you.
Thank you, Señora Marcela, for sharing your experience. And of course, being a student leader at the school site, it's a great experience for your child. Understanding how a school works, how the process works, how our education programs work. And that is, again, thank you so much, right? We know that this is one way for students to support our schools and support each other by having that voice, being that voice at their school site. So again, thank you for supporting your child, right? And encouraging her to be part of school leadership at your school site. Again, parents, there are various ways, right? There are other ways to be a student leader. There are other groups at the school site. It's not the only one, but it's one way. So thank you again for that. So parents, again, remember, it is important to be part of this process to support your child, to monitor your child, and to advocate for your child, right? Remember, they're still our little kids, right? They will always be your child. So they still need us, support, basic physical and emotional needs, right? At home, what you do every day is supporting them, right? Ensuring that they get enough sleep, that they get a good meal when they go to school, those physical and emotional needs, that you're there for them, that they feel supported, right? Or that you can also support their school work at home. This is one way that you can support your child. Monitor, maintain communication with school, right? Ensure that you are keeping that communication with school so that you can obtain that feedback about their social and academic performance, right? So the way you monitor is by maintaining communication with the school site. And of course, advocate for your child. Work with school whenever you have to do some problem solving. Remember, we are a team working together. You are the voice of your child. I know they are in high school. You want to let go, right? In some areas, but in others, you still need to be there for them. So make sure you continue to support them, to monitor them, and to advocate for them. Okay, parents? So, and we're here for you, right? We are a team. We want you to know that every single person at the school sites, our staff, either our coordinators, our office staff, teacher, assistants, cafeteria staff, before after school programs, and many of our students were participating before and after school programs, school volunteers, custodial staff, and many others, right? All of us are there for your child. We want them to be successful, and you are part of that, right? That team, the school team component, right? To support our students. So again, please make sure you are familiar with the school your child will attend, who the staff is, who to talk to, who to go to when you have any questions or concerns, right? And of course, this is something that we encourage you, and that is to stay in the loop. And and you can do that by having and using your parent portal account. Now, I don't know how many of you who are here with us have a parent portal account. I hope everyone does. And if you don't, it is very important, right, to have a parent portal account. And good news, there will be, by September, we will have a parent portal app, which will make it a lot easier. And it has a lot of more features that you will be able to use to stay in communication, right, and to monitor your child. So again, this is a great tool to have. Please make sure you create your parent portal account. And if you haven't done so, reach out to the school, reach out to us. We are here to support you with that process, because that email and password that you create in Parent Portal is the one that you can also use to in Schoology, right? Because you parent have a Schoology account, not your child's Schoology account, your own Schoology account, parents, right? And we are going to encourage you to have that, because we haven't gotten started as we thought we would, and that is with the Schoology course for parents. But we're going to reach out to you, to the ones that sign up, that we and others, right? We'll keep communicating with you about the Schoology course for parents. And for that, again, you have to have that email and password that you will use to join us. Again, you want to know what is happening at your school site? Look at their school website. You don't, okay, the new school, right? Go to the new school's website. Familiarize yourself with that website. Know what is going on there. There's a lot of information that will be useful for you to know about the school at this moment, before even the start of the new school year, right? You can go there and you can start familiarizing yourself with that, with your new child's, the new school that your child will attend. And of course, if you can, if you have the time, right, volunteer. Okay, so this is another way in which you can stay in the loop, be connected, supporting, monitoring, right, and advocating for your child. So in Parent Portal, right, we just want to say that for high school in particular, this icon here is very important. Progress towards graduation, right? All of it is important, right? Once you have your Parent Portal account, yes, you can look at their attendance, you can look at their grades and assignments, the programs that they might participate in. If they take a transportation, school transportation, you can see in real time where they are, if there's any delay, or if everything is good with their transportation. But in terms of high school, you can monitor their progress towards graduation. You can see exactly where they are on their path. Are they on track, right, to graduate? So this is why we encourage you to create and have and make use of your Parent Portal account. Okay, very important tool for you parents, right? So another aspect, and we cannot go without saying that these 2-3 years have been very difficult for our students, for staff, for everyone, right? We were in working from home, studying from home. We have come back to in-person learning, but we know that the social emotional components or aspects of our children were highly impacted, and of everyone, right? So we know that that is support that your child needs, that we need, that everyone needs. But again, if our children are not supported, right, then we might have situations that we don't want to have, right? We want to make sure that their social and emotional well-being is taken care of. So reach out to your school. Every school has access to a mental health consultant. Should you need it, should your child need it, please reach out to us, right? And we do have, and we will send you in a different text message at some point, a link to some of the videos that our local district central mental health consultants have for us, that they presented years in the past years, right? That it might be of benefit for you, so that you can see how you can support your child, what to look for, what those needs might be that you can help with, right? So again, the social emotional component of your child, or of our well-being, has to be there in order to have success, right? One thing without the academic is one great important aspect, but the social emotional go hand in hand so that they can be successful, right? And it also for you parents, we want you to take care of yourselves. We want to make sure that you are well so that you can take care of others, right? Remember, you cannot pour from an empty vessel, they say, right? You have to be well so that you can in turn support your child, right? So again, the social emotional components are very important, a very important component of our child's success, right? Your children's success, our students' success. So I think we have plenty of time to look at a video. So bear with us. We hope you can see some of the information that we have provided in this video. So it'll take a few minutes, but we will then, if it gets too long, if we're close to ending, I'll just stop it. But it's very important that you that we view it. I think it's great information. Moving up, making the middle to high school transition, exactly what we're talking about today. Okay, so let's take a minute to listen to what students, not LAUSD students, but students that made the transition from middle school to high school had to say. Let's see, let's hear them out.
When I first started high school, I was really afraid of it being a lot harder than middle school.
The scariest part was grades matter a lot more.
I was afraid that the teachers would be strict, but it's not really the case.
I thought their teachers were gonna be like really hard. It's actually more fun than middle school is.
I didn't really know what my friend group was gonna be, but then I realized that there's tons of different people and you can definitely find a place.
Not knowing my classes and where they were.
There's this new school, but it's huge.
Once you get to know the building, it's pretty easy. And also take advantage of the freshman orientation, because that way they give you tours and you get to know the school better. In middle school, you are dependent on a lot of things. In high school, you are on your own. And if you need help, you need to advocate for yourself. Probably the work, because it's harder.
The first time you take finals, every freshman freaks out because it's their first time. But once you're done with them, it's like, oh, that wasn't that big of a deal.
People a lot older than you. It's really shocking seeing the people with the little beards.
Maturity levels, and I don't know, maybe bigger difference would probably be who your friends are.
There's a lot more people, which is a lot more variety of people, so you've got more groups.
The school year's gonna go by way faster, just because I think you're gonna have way more fun.
Friends, the activities, the cons, just feels more like a community.
Biggest challenge about high school probably would be dealing with the people around you, because a lot of people are going through teenage hormones.
Fitting into a place, having a place where you know you can stay, having a second family.
The biggest challenge is probably time management.
Juggling everything.
Work. There's a lot of work.
You want to have good grades, and you want your parents to be proud that you can manage multiple things, like playing on a really good team in basketball and also keeping at least an A, B, C grade. And it is a challenge.
The freedom, you definitely have a lot more freedom in middle school, and just a ton of kids, so a lot of friends.
The amount of people that you get to know, and how many different things that go on.
I guess I feel like there's more community and there's more spirit and interaction.
It goes by so fast that it's really hard to tell what was your favorite thing about it. But sports is definitely up there.
Definitely just being independent.
You get a lot more freedom to choose what you want to do with all the electives.
We can get here a half an hour early and go talk to a teacher if we need to. Even though sometimes the classes are not easy, the teachers are really helpful and they actually do care.
They're a little bit more challenging and you have to work a little bit harder at it. But once you get into things, it's not that hard.
Higher level than what was expected.
There's a lot more hours spent studying and doing homework.
It kind of depends on your classes. If you take an AP class, you get a lot more homework, but if you have regular classes, the homework load is kind of regular. I actually have a lot less homework in high school just because we have a little bit more time in class to work on it, it seems like, because the teachers don't give as long of lessons. I have a calendar in my room that reminds me of certain events and things that need to be turned in.
Yeah, I make a lot of lists. I just do period by period. What do I have to do?
Come home after school and the first thing I do would be my homework and make sure I get it done. And they give planners, which is really good because when I didn't use my planner, my grade was falling. But when I did, it started looking a lot better.
Keeping that mentality of what I'm looking forward to doing in life and who I want to be as a person, not the people around me.
Being on time, coming before school starts by sometimes an hour so I can talk to all my teachers.
I took AVID my freshman year, so that was a really helpful class to take.
I study at least 2-3 hours before a test. because I want to be prepared.
Hard work, dedication. Like now,
Okay, parents, we are kind of short on time, so we will not be able to finish the video. It is called Moving Up, Making the Middle to High School Transition. I hope you can search for it on YouTube and find it. We find it, then we will give you a link to it. I don't recall the link right now. So parents, we're here at the end of our presentation almost, not yet. So let us know. So what steps have you taken to support your child in their transition to high school, right? So put it in the chat. One, you know what high school my child will attend. You're prepared with that information. Two, my child and I have visited or plan to visit his or her new school. What about three? I have had conversations, right? That communication with my child about going to high school. And I have visited my child's new school website, remember? So what of these things might you have already done in preparation for your child's soon coming up transition into high school? What might you have done? If we see anything in the chat. Oh, okay. Kept up with a football coach. That's very important. Okay. If we don't see too many, we will just move forward because of time. But if you are able to put it in the chat or your Q&A, okay, thank you. Okay, someone has already gone to the school site with their child and looked at the area, the community, the surrounding area. Very good. That's very important, right? Some of you have done everything except the actual school visit. That's very good. You have talked to the child, you have visited the website. Thank you for that, right? All of those things that we do now in preparation will definitely help that transition of our child. So we're going to continue because of time. Remember, this is what we want. We want every single one of our students to be successful in their high school career and graduate and beyond, right? That be prepared for what their next post-secondary endeavors may be, right? And together as a team, parents, families, and students, staff, right? Together we can do this, right? Together we'll support each other in ensuring our children, right? Make that transition and are successful in their high school career. So might there be any questions that we can answer? We only have a few minutes, but if not, so might we have any questions? Okay, Lomeli, go ahead, ask the question.
We are unable to hear.
Yes. Yes, Elizabeth, I think we're not able to hear your mic for some reason, but let me look at the chat. I think I can view it, right? Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, the Q&A. So we have various questions, right? Let me see. How can you choose a school for my child after the 12th grade? Okay, so remember, the high school is a time for exploration, right? And high school counselors are very important in supporting your child, right? Make that transition to post-secondary. So I would suggest that you speak with at your school site with a counselor, your academic counselor, your college counselor. They are very good people to go to, right? Staff that will guide you in that transition, okay? Okay, so we have, I don't see any other specific questions. Yes, having electronic communication, yes. Because of the pandemic, we have had to make that transition to online communication, text messaging, emailing, and we know that we need to support you in that process, parents. We know that. And we are going to continue building your capacity in that process. We know that we had many of you take our computer course, right? To learn basic computer skills, because we know that now we cannot go back, right? This situation will continue in terms of continuing to communicate via electronically. Ms. Lomeli? Okay, so not having that, thank you, right? Going around the area, getting to know the school. You make sure that your freshman tryouts, yes, right? Be aware of maybe some, any tours, right, that the school might give or orientations. That's important. We'll continue because of time, and just I want to make sure that you have this information, parents, and that is about summer of learning. We know that it started today. There might have been some situations, right? But I hope everyone who applied was able to attend and get to the school that they wanted or the program they wanted. If it was an enrichment program, you are still in time to call the school, visit the school. You might be able to, if you didn't, get to apply. But if you scroll all the way down, right, in this Summer of Learning page, you will find out information about local summer destinations for families, free or at low cost, right? Because together, exploring together as a family will definitely support your child. You will bond as a family, and there will be learning at the same time, right? So we want to keep learning as we go to some local destinations. So be aware that you can find information at the bottom as you scroll all the way down the Summer of Learning page. Okay, just so that, because we didn't get to that one too much, we didn't talk about it as much. I want you to know that that's you can go there and explore, see what kind of learning together you can do with the family. And also we want to inform you about whether you need, if you might be in need of a device or internet, right? Please, the first step is to apply in device.lausd.net/connect so that you can request a device or internet, right? So this is a very important website here, HTTPS, the one up here. Take a picture of it, make note of it, because this is the page where you can have all your questions answered. There's a frequently asked questions section, and you can change the language from English to Spanish, right? So that you can get information as to how you can apply for those devices. Okay, parents? I'm not sure if there are any questions about that specifically, but it is very important, right, that we keep connected and your child has the opportunity. This device that the district is providing your child, right, through the district, the child can keep throughout year to year. They don't have to return it until and when they leave our LAUSD schools. Okay, so we say free, but the idea is that you're not going to pay for it right now, right? It is the district's device, but you can keep the device for as long as your child is enrolled in an LAUSD school. I just want to make clear that clear, because I thought there was a little bit of confusion with that in the past. Okay. And lastly, we thank you for having been here. We are over time. Sorry for our interpreter. We went beyond. So thank you for supporting us, continuing to support us. A shout out to our interpreters. They have supported us throughout the year. This is the last Tech Talk of the year. We will see you at the next school year. And again, thank you for participating, for being here. And make sure to visit the Local District Central YouTube channel, Local District Central YouTube channel, where you can see many of these presentations, Tech Talks, and many, many more offerings that may be of support to you, right? So again, thank you so much for being here. And we wish you the best during this summer and a wonderful new year for those students who are going to high school or to a new school, right? All of that is always an exciting time. It's always a little bit stressful, but with your support and working together as a team, parents, students, teachers, school staff, everyone together, we know that our students can be successful. So once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for my colleagues who supported today. Thank you, Senora Marcela, who shared with us her experiences. We really appreciate your willingness to come and share with others. So again, have a great summer, a great new year, and we'll be seeing you in Tech Talks and more. That is our expectation, our hope, next year. Okay, take care.